What's going on, friends? Welcome back to College Sports Corner. Hope you're having a great weekend. Hope you're having fun. Hope the weather's good. We had some bad storms last night, and the sun's going to come out. Looks like it's going to be a nice day. Anyway, we got a lot to get to today, a lot of news to get to. We're going to go over some basketball, go over the football games that we have, FCS playoffs, Army, Navy, that kind of good stuff. Before we start, hit that subscribe button. That's what it's called. Yeah, subscribe button. Hit that thing so you don't miss anything. Listen to it at work. Watch it in the background at work while you're working. Anyway, let's get to it. We got a lot of news here. One thing I found real quick this morning before we get to the news. If you are a volleyball fan, I like volleyball. I watch it. Thursday, December 15th, you're down to your final four teams in women's volleyball. Thursday night, San Diego versus Texas. And then after that, it'll be Pittsburgh versus Louisville. And then 2 days later, Saturday, December 17th, they'll have the national championship game. So for volleyball, that thing is all set. Okay, get down to the news here. North Texas quarterback Austin Owen, I can never say his name right. He plans to enter the NFL draft after the bowl game. Texas A&M wide receiver Chris Marshall, he enters the transfer portal. UTSA, good news for you guys. That badass quarterback you got, Frank Harris, he's coming back next year. Same thing for you North Carolina fans. Drake May, he's coming back next year. I know the last few games he didn't look all that good. Kind of didn't play the way Drake May plays. But man, the rest of the season before that, he had some damn good games. So good news for you guys. He's coming back. NCAA is granting some of the Virginia players an extra year of eligibility. After that shooting they had, they canceled their last couple games, shortened the season. Players whose eligibility would have expired after this season, they're the ones that are being granted an extra year. USC quarterback Caleb Williams voted AP Player of the Year. Also won the Heisman Trophy last night. And from what I'm seeing online, the only people happy about that are USC fans and his family. A lot of people think it should have been other players. A lot for Stetson Bennett. Even people saying Penix Jr. from Washington and Hooker Henderson from Tennessee should be there, even though he got hurt. They say character's got nothing to do with it. I think a lot of people are mad because of his little finger messages before the Utah game. But like I said, the only people who seem to be happy about it are USC fans and his family and friends. But hey, it is what it is. Mississippi State running back Dylan Johnson enters the transfer portal. He says Coach Mike Leach is glad I am leaving because I'm not very tough. I don't know. That's what he says. This is pretty interesting here. Football in the ASUN and WAC conferences are considering jumping from the FCS to FBS to start a whole new conference by 2024. That would give us 11 FBS conferences. The new conference would consist of Stephen F. Austin, Utah Tech, Eastern Kentucky, Austin Peay, Abilene Christian, Southern Utah, Tarleton State, Central Arkansas, Northern Alabama, and UT Rio Grande Valley. I know there's a few things that they have to go through to actually go from FCS to FBS and form that new conference. And they're getting to work on it. And they're saying they're hoping to get it done by 2024. So we could have a new FBS conference. Two-time All-ACC wide receiver from North Carolina, Josh Downs. He is going to enter the transfer portal. Stanford, they hired Troy Taylor as head coach. He was at Sacramento State, and he's done good with them at Sacramento State, taking them to the playoffs. They just lost this last weekend in a big shootout. But he's pretty good coach there at Sacramento State. Let's see what he does over there at Stanford. All right, got a lot of basketball to get to. We are going to go back to Wednesday, go over these games real quick. UNC Asheville beat Warren Wilson 122-70. Pember from UNC Asheville, 22 points, 9 rebounds. Morgan State beat Penn State University Wilkes-Barre. Guess that's a branch from Penn State. Anyway, Morgan State beat them 95-48. Okay, these records, these are from a few days ago. So if I would say a team like this one, 9-1, they may have lost since then. So anyway, on Wednesday, St. John's was 9-1. They beat DePaul 86-67. Sereno from St. John's, 17 points, 14 rebounds. Damn. DePaul's Cruz, he had 14 points. Michigan State beat Penn State 67-58. This game was actually tied 35 at halftime. Hogarth from Michigan State, 23 points, 6 rebounds. Walker behind him had 14 points. Lundy for Penn State, 16 points, 4 rebounds. Pickett behind him, 13 points, 17 rebounds, 8 assists. Not too bad. Georgetown beat Siena 75-68. Northern Alabama beat Alabama State 71-63. VMI beat Carlo 106-67. Brown beat Rhode Island 59-58. 7-2 Notre Dame 81. Boston University 7-5. Ryan for Notre Dame 21 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. St. Bonaventure beat Cleveland State 61-42. 91 Miami 107. 7-2 Cornell 105. Looked like a pretty good game. Miami's Wong, 36 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists. Miller behind him, 22 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. Dolan for Cornell, 19 points. Behind him, Williams had 18 points. Delaware beat Delaware State, 77-69. Number 7, 8-1, Tennessee, 84. Eastern Kentucky, 49. Key for Tennessee, leading scorer with 17 points. Western Illinois beat Iowa West 84-73. 8-1 Florida Atlantic 85. 7-3 Florida Gulf Coast 53. Martin for the Owls had 21 points. Number 4 9-0 Purdue 85. Hofstra 66. Ide for Purdue 23 points, 18 rebounds, 3 assists. Jacksonville beat VCU 73-62. Hampton beat Loyola Maryland 65-61. West Virginia, who's 7-2, 85. Navy, 64. Going on here. Army beat New Jersey Tech by 1, 63-62. Villanova beat Penn, 70-59. Georgia Southern beat Piedmont, 91-47. Quinnipiac, 75. Holy Cross, 71. Rider beat Stonehill College, 78-67. Robert Morris beat Central Michigan, 71-66. Fairfield beat Sacred Heart 61-59. Old Dominion beat William & Mary 72-62. William & Mary, they've had a rough week. Losing basketball games and lost the playoff game in football Friday. Tough week for William & Mary. Davidson beat Western Carolina 72-64. Colgate beat Binghamton 81-62. Southern Indiana beat Anderson, Indiana 78-47. Ball State beat Eastern Illinois 76-59. Southeast Louisiana beat Belhaven 107-71. And Caldwell for Southeast Louisiana, 23 points, 11 rebounds. Evansville beat Campbell 72-66. 9-1 Virginia Tech 77. Dayton 49. Basile from Va Tech, 23 points, 10 rebounds. Detroit beat Tulsa 76-72. Little for Detroit, 27 points, 12 rebounds. Nice game for him. Illinois State beat Eastern Michigan 87-81. Sandage for Illinois State had 28 points in that one. 9-1 Indiana State 74. Southern Illinois 71. Purdue Fort Wayne beat Southeast Missouri State 89-68. 8-1 Drake beat Nebraska Omaha 78-65. Texas A&M Corpus Christi beat Texas Lutheran 100-63. And Mushla for A&M Corpus Christi, 23 points, 11 rebounds. Texas Tech beat Nicholls State 78-71. Seton Hall beat Lincoln, Pennsylvania 82-55. Providence beat Manhattan 99-59. And Hopkins from Providence, 22 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists. Number 14, 8-1 Indiana 81. Nebraska 65. Galloway for Indiana, 20 points, 4 rebounds. Wiltshire for Nebraska, he was their leading scorer with 22 points. 9-1 Arizona State beat SMU 75-57. Horn for Arizona State, 22 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. Loyola Marymount, 69. Grand Canyon, 65. Washington State beat Northern Kentucky, 68-47. Bamba from Washington State, 22 points in that one. Pitt beat Vanderbilt, 74-7. Or no, Vanderbilt beat Pitt. I'm sorry, I had it backwards. 75-74, 1-point game there. 8-2 Clemson, 80. 8-2 Towson, 7-5. 7-5. 75. What the hell? Clemson's Hall, 22 points, 5 rebounds. Timberlake's Towson, 21 points, 8 rebounds. Number 5, 10-0 UConn, 75. Florida, 54. Senegal for UConn, 17 points, 7 rebounds. And for Florida, Fudge and Kugel, they had 13 points each. Klingon, though, from UConn, 16 points, 8 rebounds off the bench. Not too bad. Utah Valley, 75. BYU, 60. Fresno State, 65. Cal State Northridge, 56. Sacramento State, 87. 8-2 Denver, 85. Game was tied at 33 at halftime. Eastern Washington beat Cal, 50-48. 9-0 UNLV, 77. Hawaii, 62. St. Mary, 66. Missouri State, 46. 8-2 Santa Clara, 66. New Mexico State, 65. Cal Baptist, 64. Weber State, 52. San Francisco, 69. Merrimack, 51. USC, 64. Cal State Fullerton, 50. Moves us on to Thursday. Maine beat, who is this? Moose? Never heard of that school. Maine beat them 103-67. 10-1. UMass Lowell, 85. UMass, 80. Highcombe for UMass Lowell, 23 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists. 8-1 Marshall, 82. 7-2 Duquesne, 71. Both leading scorers from both those teams have 19 points. Number 25 and 7-2, Ohio State, 67. Rutgers, 66. Key for the Buckeyes, 22 points, 4 rebounds. Youngstown State beat Westminster, 117-65. St. Francis, Pennsylvania beat St. Vincent, 88-58. Man, about 30 points. 7-2 Iowa, 75. Number 20, 7-2 Iowa State, 56. Rebecca for Iowa, 22 points, 11 rebounds, 4 assists. Not too bad. Lipsey for Iowa State, 11 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. Colorado, 93. Colorado State, 65. Simpson for Colorado, 27 points. Michigan beat Minnesota, 90-75. Montana State beat St. Thomas, Minnesota, 82-65. 8-2 Utah, 99. Jacksonville State, 58. That leads us to Friday. Bryant beat Stony Brook, 79-60. 10-1 Fordham, 77. Binghamton, 62. Central Connecticut State, 59. Dartmouth, 50. Fairleigh Dickinson, 76. Columbia, 73. Grambling beat Vanderbilt. Wow, 64-62. Merrimack beat New England College, 82-23. New England College only scored 23 points in that game. Most teams score that in the first half or second half. And then some. 8-2 Queens, 87. Beat 8-2 High Point, 79. Die for Queens, 28 points, 5 rebounds. Alabama A&M beat Lipscomb, 63-59. McNeese State beat Northern Iowa, 52-49. Air Force beat Arkansas State, 80-55. Utah Tech beat Chapman, 99-58. Number 18, Gonzaga, 77. Washington, 60. Timmy for Gonzaga, 22 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. Strother, 18 points, 12 rebounds. Leading scorer for the Huskies was Brooks Jr., 14 points, 5 rebounds there for Washington. Brings us into yesterday. Tulane beat Buffalo, 88-63. Drexel beat LaSalle, 65-58. Chattanooga beat Johnson University, 97-47. Vermont beat Colgate by 1, 73-72. Penn State beat number 17 Illinois, 74-59. Penn State's Funk and Pickett, 20 points each. Mayer for Illinois, 14 points. Number 5, UConn, 114. Long Island, 61. Hawkins for UConn, 22 points. And Klingon, he came off the bench, scored 21 points, 11 rebounds. Number 9, Arkansas, 88. Oklahoma, 78. Council, the fourth for the Razorbacks, 26 points, 2 rebounds, 5 assists. Sherfield for Oklahoma, 23 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists. Number 2, Texas, 88. Arkansas Pine Bluff, 43. Leading scorer for Texas was Bishop, 16 points. Man. Syracuse beat Georgetown, 83-64. Edwards for Syracuse, 20 points, 11 rebounds, 3 assists. Spears for Georgetown, 22 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists. 9-2 Quinnipiac, 76. Lafayette, 63. Lafayette is 1-10 on the season. They've won that one game, and that's been it. VMI, 77. Radford, 74. Two teams you thought would be doing better, but man. Florida State, who's 2-9, beat Louisville, 0-9, 75-53. Wow. St. Joseph beat St. Peter, 73-57. Penn beat Temple, 77-57. And Dingle for Penn, 30 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists. Rhode Island beat Army, 77-67. Number 16, Kentucky, who's 7-2, beat 8-3 Yale, 69-59. This guy from Kentucky, I couldn't say his name last year. I can't say his name this year. Shibui. Oh, anyway, 28 points, 12 rebounds. Heck of a game for him. Yale's Malloy. He only had 14 points in this one. North Florida, 88. Bethune Cookman, 48. Toledo, 69. Consensus, right? I get that right? Consensus, 68. 4-5 Richmond, 82. They beat 8-2 Drake, 52. Nelson for Richmond, 19 points, 4 rebounds. Calhoun for Drake had 17 points. 8-2 Charlotte, 82. Detroit, 80. Ball State, 88. Evansville, 69. Northeastern, 59. Holy Cross, 58. Tough day for Holy Cross yesterday. Basketball team loses, football team loses. Although the football team played pretty good. We'll go over that. Dayton, 79. UNC Asheville, 56. Holmes, the third from Dayton, 27 points, 12 rebounds. Coastal Carolina, 102. Regent, 39. Miami, who's 10-1. They beat 8-3 North Carolina State, 80-73. Miller from Miami, 25 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. Wong, 22 points, 5 rebounds, 8 assists. NC State's Joyner, 26 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. Smith, 19 points, 4 rebounds, 7 assists. Wolfpack led this game by 9 at halftime. Miami came back and outscored them by 16 in the second half to win that one. South Dakota beat UC Irvine beat South Dakota, 83-71. Tough day for the Coyotes. 8-1 LSU beat Wake Forest, 72-70. Williams for LSU, 35 points, 10 rebounds. Heck of a game. But Wake Forest Appleby, he had 26 points, so he had a good game too. Stetson, 83. Weber International, 59. Number 4, Purdue, 65. Nebraska, 62. Purdue, 10-0. Layer, 22 points. Eddie for Purdue, 11 points, 17 rebounds. Nebraska's Walker and Bandamel, 14 points each. But Tominaga, he came off the bench for Nebraska, scored 19. Providence, 93. Albany, 55. Illinois, Chicago, 62. Western Michigan, 56. Sims from Western Michigan had 24 points, 12 rebounds. Tulsa beat Central Michigan, 70-63. Number 8, Alabama, 71. Number 1, Houston, 65. Houston goes down in their own home. Clowney for Alabama, 16 points, 11 rebounds. Sears had 11 points, 3 rebounds. Sheed for Houston, 19 points, 6 rebounds. Mark, 10 points, 2 rebounds. Bradley came off the bench for Houston, 12 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. Houston actually led this game by 4 at halftime. Alabama's 8-1. Houston's still doing good, though. They're 9-1. I would imagine with Texas winning, that Texas will jump them in the polls again. And we'll be back to Texas number 1. Houston 2, maybe 3. Who knows? We'll see when that happens. 8-2. UCLA, who's number 19 in the country, beat Denver 87-64. Kent State beat Cleveland State 67-58. 9-1, Southern Miss 95, Lamar 59. Southern Miss led this game by almost 30 points at halftime. South Carolina Upstate 89, South Carolina State 84. St. Mary's, who's 8-3, beat number 22 San Diego State. St. Mary's beat them 68-61. Mahaney from St. Mary's 20 points. Abilene Christian beat Texas A&M Commerce 83-64. 7-2 Ole Miss beat Valparaiso 98-61. Western Illinois beat Eastern Illinois 79-75. I wonder if they met in the middle when they played. Just curious. Georgia Southern beat Wofford 79-57. Xavier beat Cincinnati 80-77. Bohm for Xavier, 21 points, 6 rebounds. DeJulius for Cincinnati, he had 22 points. North Carolina beat Georgia Tech 75-59. Davis for North Carolina, 22 points, 10 rebounds. Georgian Court, I don't think I've heard of that school, but they beat Delaware State 75-69. Pittsburgh beat Sacred Heart 91-66. Cummings for Pittsburgh, 24 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. American, who is 7-2, they beat George Washington 69-64. Western Carolina beat Brevard College. I don't think I've heard of them either. Anyway, Western Carolina beat them 99-55. UNC Wilmington beat Jacksonville 81-53. Wichita State beat Longwood 81-63. Pierre Jr. for Wichita State had 20 points in that one. Bellarmine, however you say it, they beat Murray State 69-58. Tipton for Bellarmine, 25 points, 7 rebounds. Nice game for him. But Perry for Murray State had 24 points also. Norfolk State beat William & Mary 67-53. Like we said, tough week for William & Mary. Overtime game, 7-1 Seattle beat North Dakota 80-78. Illinois State beat SIUE 77-71. New Mexico 9-0. They beat UTSA 94-76. Utah Valley beats Northern Arizona 80-75. Furman beats Winthrop 82-67. Michigan State beats Brown 68-50. Northwestern State 91. UL Monroe 73. Northwestern State is 8-2 now. UNLV, who's 10-0, they beat Washington State 74-70. Gilbert for UNLV, 25 points, 5 rebounds. Villanova beats Boston College, 77-56. Butler beats Cal, 82-58. South Dakota State, 77. Eastern Washington, 76. They're partying there at South Dakota State. Football team and basketball team win. Pacific beat Fresno, 76-72. Southern beats LSU Alexandria, 98-76. Got a few more here and we'll get to football. Auburn, number 11. Lose to Memphis, 82-73. Memphis 8-2, Auburn 8-1 now. Davis for Memphis, 27 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists. Williams, 16 points, 11 rebounds. For Auburn, Green Jr., 14 points. I'm sure Bruce jumped on that team for that poor offensive showing. Overtime game, Middle Tennessee 85, Belmont 75. Even though Belmont lost, Shepherd had 33 points and 4 rebounds for Belmont. San Jose State 75, Santa Clara 6-4. Both of them are 8-3 now. 11-1 UMass Lowell 68, St. Francis New York 59. Number 6 Kansas beats Missouri 95-67. Both are 9-1. And I was reading somewhere that that's the first time Kansas has gone to play at Missouri in basketball in like almost 10 years or something like that. I guess when Missouri took off to the SEC, that I don't know if that series stopped or what. I have to look that up. But yeah, they haven't been there to Missouri in like 10 years. Anyway, Kansas, Wilson with 24 points, 10 rebounds. McCullough Jr., 21 points, 4 rebounds. Adams Jr., 19 points, 6 rebounds. And for Missouri, Hunter and Hodge, 15 points each. UMBC 75, Morgan State 63. Troy beat Tennessee Tech 87-64. Number 15, Duke 82. Maryland Eastern Shore 55. Whitehead and Proctor for Duke 15 points each. I think I read Duke had a couple of injuries. A couple of players didn't play. 8-2 North Texas beat Grand Canyon 60-58. Montana State beat Nebraska and Omaha 82-54. 10-1 St. John's 64. New Hampshire 51. Jones for St. John's 20 points, 12 rebounds. 8-2 West Virginia 81. 7-2 UAB 70. Sacramento State beat Long Beach State 76-74. DePaul beat UTEP 91-70. Eastern Kentucky 140. Boyce. Another one I haven't really heard of, Boyce. Anyway, Eastern Kentucky beat them 140-79. Marino for Eastern Kentucky, 35 points. 11 of those were three-pointers. So he made all three-pointers in just one regular basket. So nice game for him. Boston beat Marist 72-70. Southern Utah beat Cal State Fullerton 67-60. James Madison beat another one I'm not familiar with, Gallaudet. Anyway, James Madison beat him 106-43. Mount St. Mary's beat Loyola Maryland 51-34. Florida Gulf Coast beat Mercer 67-62. 8-2 Princeton beat Monmouth 91-54. 9-1 Marshall beat Robert Morris 69-60. Oregon beat Nevada 78-65. 8-1 Western Kentucky beat Wright State 64-60. Number 10 Arizona beats number 14 Indiana 89-75. Arizona's Tubelis 21.7 rebounds, 3 others in double-digit points. Thompson for Indiana 16 points, 9 rebounds. Texas State beats UT Arlington by 6. Loyola Chicago beat Clemson, 76-58. Southern Illinois beat Alcorn State 74-68. 8-2 Boise beat St. Louis 57-52. Oral Roberts 111, Central Arkansas 78. Old Dominion 44, Gardner Webb 43. Not a lot of scoring in that one. Purdue Fort Wayne beat Missouri State 65-61. Montana beat North Dakota State 82-75. That would have been a hell of a FCS football game. Louisiana, who's 8-1, beat Samford 75-58. St. Thomas, Minnesota beat Idaho State 76-70. UT Rio Grande Valley beat Houston Christian 95-82. UC Santa Barbara beat Pepperdine 67-64. Green Bay beat UMKC 70-64. Portland beat New Orleans 100-61. Wyoming beat Louisiana Tech 92-65. Weber State beat St. Martin's 82-58. BYU beat number 21 Creighton 83-80. Cal Baptist beat San Diego 76-73. Northern Colorado beat Cal State Northridge 70-63. Cal Poly beat Portland State 72-49. And last but not least, number 24 TCU beat SMU 83-75. That's crosstown rivals. 5 players for TCU have double-digit points. All right, let's get to some football. Yesterday was the annual Army-Navy game. I got to see part of it. I'll tell you, one thing I'm really disappointed in is you got this great setting. You got the cadets from the Army there, from Navy there, coming in. And when the Army comes in, boy, you got some badass helicopters flying over. When Navy comes in, you got those badass F-18s flying over. But you know what sucks about it? CBS shows 1 second of it and goes back to the field. Both fly over. So I'm like, seriously? I mean, we're going to see these players and these fans the entire game. You can't leave the camera on the badass flyovers for a little more than that. So I don't know. Maybe CBS hates America. Who knows? But no, I thought that was pretty stupid. I was like, oh, check out the F-8. Well, it's done. That's it. So CBS, you suck, man. All right. Anyway, Army. Listen to these stats, man. We know these teams are mostly rushing teams. Army, 28 passing yards. Navy, 25 passing yards. Army, 125 rushing yards. Navy, 259 rushing yards. Army, 153 total yards in this one. Navy, 284. Army wins it in 2 overtimes, 20-17. Army finishes the season 6-6. They'll be going to a bowl game. Navy 4-8, which is crazy because you figure Navy, after what you've seen them do over the last decade, Figured they'd be 8-4, not 4-8. But anyway, all right. So FCS playoffs getting down to it. We got down to the final four now. Isn't that amazing? They have almost as many teams as the FBS. They have a 2014 playoff, and they are down to the 4 teams. A week or two before Christmas. And here you got FBS going, Dad, I don't know how we can do it. Yeah. Anyway, all right. So man, like we said, they had a shootout. Incarnate Word beat Sacramento State 66-63. Unfortunately, I didn't see that game. I wish I had. I'm just wondering if defense was optional or if those two offenses are just that badass. I don't know. William and Mary, man, what a great run they had this year. They only lost one game, if I remember right, coming into this one. But they went up there to Bozeman, and we know how good Montana State is. I mean, they're in the playoffs every year. Anyway, they put a beat down on William and Mary, unfortunately. 55-7, but hey, congratulations, Tribe. Y'all had a hell of a year, and hope to see you back next year, man. I mean, y'all had a great run this year. North Dakota State did what we usually expect them to do. The Bison are always way up there in the rankings every year. They beat Sanford 27-9. And the one I watched yesterday was pretty good. South Dakota State, they won 42. Holy Cross 21. This was a great game all the way up until the third quarter. Then Holy Cross started making a few mistakes. South Dakota State capitalized off them, scored off of those. And Holy Cross, man, their field goal kicker just, I don't know, he just couldn't hit anything. But their quarterback, I forget his name. I think it starts with an S. I think he's coming back next year. Man, he is badass. He can throw. When the pocket collapses, man, he can run. He ran for a touchdown. I think he ran for 2 touchdowns yesterday. Man, that guy's incredible. Like I said, I think he's coming back next year. So, Holy Cross, watch for Holy Cross next year. Anyway, Final Four set, and South Dakota State versus Montana State. I think this one is actually at South Dakota State this year. I think last year was at Montana State. But the South Dakota State-Montana State game, man, that's going to be a heck of a game. The Incarnate Word, they're playing great football. They go to North Dakota State, and North Dakota State has proven this year they can lose in their own Fargo Dome, or whatever they call it. So the Final Four looks like it's going to be pretty good. I believe they're next weekend, and then they have the championship game like in January, like FBS does. But check on that this week to make sure, because like I said, those are going to be some pretty good semifinal games right there. So anyway, that's it. Man, back to work tomorrow, unfortunately. Y'all have a good day. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Have a great week. Keep busy so it goes by fast. And before you know it, the weekend will be here again. Anyway, y'all take care. Be safe. We'll see you next time.